Aloha, jazz lover, wherever you are in the world. Welcome again to another Jazz Intersection interview. In this interview, we'll be talking with a Havana-born, U.S.-raised Cuban-American singer-composer who specializes in Cuban and Brazilian music and jazz standards. She has a warm, intimate delivery that creates a passionate and exotic feeling when you listen to her music. Believe me, it does. The Jazz Intersection welcomes the one and the only Gladys Havana Carbo. Welcome. Aloha, Havana.
Aloha. Gee, I have to live up to that great introduction now. I hope I can. Lovely to talk to you. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it is my pleasure. Believe me. Before we delve into your new CD, Phantoms of Love, give us a little background of your introduction into music in your youth, your influences then, and memories of Cuba.
Wow, that's a big. I mean, that answer would take me days. But I grew up in Cuba. I was born there, and everybody had a piano at home, and everybody played music, and my mother played the piano. And I remember at 3 hearing something, on the radio, and walking over to the piano and playing it. I just happened to I had a good ear.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to love to play. Whatever I heard, I could play. I mean, obviously not in a very sophisticated way, but I could do it. And eventually I was given piano lessons, but I kind of relied on my ear. I was very lazy, and I would say to myself, "Can you play this lesson for me? I just want to see how it sounds when you play it." And so she'd play it, and I heard it once, and I memorized it.
Oh, great.
So, but, I mean, it wasn't great because it really gave me, later on in life, I had to really learn how to write and read music fast. Because I was really relying on my ear. And it's a help, but it can also be a hindrance, And, to write, you really need to know what to do. I mean, I studied solfège and the whole thing, all 9 years. But, eventually when we came to the United States, I was 11 at the time, and I went to school here. Then in high school, I was part of just every single musical course that there was. Chorus. I was in the 15-net. I had my own band. I was in the band. I played in the orchestra.
Wow.
Everything. I filled every free period with music. I never in my life, in the 4 years, took a free period. I couldn't kind of sitting there. I just went home and I did my homework at home, but I wanted to be in school to learn and to play music.
All right.
And that was great fun. And I had my own started with a trio. I used to do my own little arrangements. It was called The Holidays. If you go to my website and you go to the gallery, you'll see photographs. It eventually became a sextet.
I did. I watched it. Yeah, I did see it.
You did see it?
Yeah.
Well, that was, then, and that was my group, and I used to write 4 or 5-part harmony for everybody, and we would sing a cappella, and it was a sort of kind of for freshman high-low sort of
Gotcha.
Harmonic blend. I still remember some of the arrangements. I have a few of them, in fact, like little lines. I would do it, we really sounded great. Then I sang with a band outside of school. I was sort of the vocalist, and I remember singing Stars Fell in Alabama. That was the one song I was supposed to sing with this band. I remember all these things. And we had a wonderful music teacher, Miss Brown.
All right.
Mary Gillingham Brown. She was the director of the choir at Trinity Church. And she was a mother to all of us. She loved everyone who was in music to just succeed in music. She was a great influence, actually, for me. And the first CD I ever did, it was an LP with Soul Note. I actually did it in memory of Mary Brown. Anyone who went to Grover Cleveland High School, and Julius LaRosa was there before me. A lot of people were in that school, and a lot of people who went into high school that was not a music school. And
is that where you were introduced to jazz music in high school?
Well, no, it's not really. It was around that time, not necessarily in the high school, but after school, I'd go to places that had music and Ridgewood and little jazz groups, and I would just suddenly get up and sing with the band. And I loved it. I had a great time, and I was totally fearless, and which is good. It really is. You learn that way. And I was not at all inhibited. I was just felt I was in my element. And I really started singing when we first came. I knew English. I mean, English was part of my school life. Every school was either French and Spanish or English and Spanish.
And you speak how many languages now?
Well, really, fluently 3, I would say. But I also speak Portuguese. I mean, if I'm with somebody from Brazil, within hours I can speak, but I have nobody to speak with unless I'm, with one of the guys who happen to be from Brazil. But French I studied for 4 years in high school and 4 in college. I loved it. Portuguese I taught myself. I studied Italian, and I understand everything. I have to get into the Italian mode. You have to kind of switch,
Mm-hmm.
But English and Spanish, I'm completely, totally bilingual, and I actually have done a lot of legal translations.
Oh, okay.
Online, it's a nice kind of side job to have. And legal translations are not a whole lot of fun, I tell her, you just send me a really interesting letter, not a birth document or a divorce decree and all that stuff, because that's, you can really fall asleep during those.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did because I learned my English teacher was from Canada.
Okay.
It was a very different kind of, it wasn't New Yorkese at all. And I remember going to a needle stand and asking for a glass of water, please.
Mm.
And I was ignored, I said, why don't people listen to me? And then I started listening to everybody's conversation. I realized I had to say, can I have a glass of water, please? It's just how you say it.
It's how you say it.
Really got my water.
All right.
So, and I pick up, any accent from any place. I lived in England for a year. In about 6, I wasn't trying. In 6 months, because my last ex-husband is a Brit. I heard myself saying something at a bank, and I heard myself suddenly sounding British. It just came out of my mouth. And my God, you picked it up. And it just happens, you just hear it and you do it. But that also helps you with music. You hear things, you can pick up things, you can hear things, you can feel this. It's not only the pronunciation, but it's the melody of a language. Every language has its melody.